Welcome, everyone. It is my pleasure today to introduce one of my sponsors, somebody I respect, that I've traveled with, that was with us in the CrossTech Latam this year in Brazil, and is João. So João, talk a little bit about you, a little bit about Travelex, and everything you guys have been doing for this year.
Okay. Hello, people. It's a pleasure to stay here. We are working at Travelex. I am a COO and CBDO of the company. My responsibility is to lead the company around the world and talk about the revolution in payments in Brazil are occurring now. I'm working in FX for 40 years. It's a long time. I'm working a strange time, and very curious to stay here at the CrossTech. It's a completely different than I started to work. And I believe is any year I came, I see the different times and different forms to cross-border payments, and probably we will see more transformation in the next years. And it is very curious because it's very important for us to look at our partners and our clients here working on different forms to cross-border payments. And CrossTech provided these meetings. Is very important to us to see about the market of the cross-border.
And we have evolved together, João, because as you know, last year you were here with us.
Yeah.
We announced the IMTC to become CrossTech.
Yeah.
And part of that rebranding was also to discuss how we're evolving as an industry, how we don't have only today in our conference only the regular remittances, but we also have the technology providers, we also have the B2B component. And I think one of the things that I learned from you when we were in the panels in São Paulo is Brazil is ahead of the game. Yeah. Brazil has developed many technologies that I think, as we discussed there with the central bank and with all of our colleagues, it has some technology that can be copied from other markets. Yeah. So what do you think from your experience as an executive in Brazil, living through this change, how this technology has, really got to be where it is today? How can other countries in Latam and even the United States can learn from that experience? I think everybody watching us today, we have people live, João, right now watching us. I think they would be very interested to learn how, independent of the market they are, how can they get ahead time to market the way Brazil is?
Yeah, we have in Brazil now at this moment a future occurring today in Brazil. We have many deals through the central bank, and therefore we are living a quick and fast transformation in the financial industry in Brazil. The central bank have 4 pillars to support this. The first of all is the open finance. Yes. It started with open bank and it transformed to give more markets. There are called open finance. The second wave is the PIX. PIX, the payment instant. And was a revolution, and on yesterday was completed 2 years. And we are billions of transactions every day through instant payments. The third is to change the rules, the laws, the many rules of the market was changing. It will be started for FX on January 2, and it's very important to facilitate this transformation. And the fourth process is the most important, is digital real. All these processes are based on blockchain.
Yes.
And it was providing a different world that are living. And this is the reason Brazil was looking very much for the countries on Latin America, for example, but around the world we are very looking because this transformation was realized very fast in Brazil and changing so far the market with the new technologies and the process. We are living in a new situation. We are discussing, for example, the last point is Real Digital, is a digital currency of
Fantastic.
central bank.
Wow.
Is a revolution we are starting to use in the next year, and we have many situations to broken markets and cause the disruption of and many kinds of the industry, and therefore we are very surprised, and this transformation was very fast.
Yes.
And provide to change our comportment in every day.
And I love when you said that this is happening very fast. And
Yeah.
a lot of the conversations that I have during the conferences and with CEOs and CEOs like you, I think time to market is something that it's very important.
Yeah.
So what will be your advice? Because today in the conference we have companies at different levels, right? We have companies that are already in the very digital bank. They have banking as a service. You're able to do everything through the app. But we also have the players that are still trying to catch up. How do you see that those that are trying to catch up should look at this? What would be the best way for them to start to become digital? Because you got to start somewhere. So what will be your advice?
The market today, if you don't are digital, you are out of the market.
Yes.
Yeah. In Travelex, for example, we are living in a transformation.
Yes.
Therefore, we said that we are physical.
I love that.
I have our stores. We are physical, and we are moving for digital in many kinds through app, to web, and other situations. But we are in the process of transformation. When I see the market in the future, probably you have two departments, the principal departments. You have the technology, is the first, and the second probably is compliance.
Yes.
One point that I look at this year in CrossTech is very interesting. The old friends that I talked here are talking about the compliance, money laundering, and KIC, and to know your merchants. And very curious because it's not normal 2 years ago, for example. But today is very normal talk about the compliance process, to look at the market, because when I say the payment was very fast today, we need to have to know about the transfer.
Yes.
To give a comfort and a security to the payment.
And for us, João, I don't know if you knew this about us, but for the last 12 years that we've been doing this with conferences and then even longer with consulting, we have a compliance community that we help as well. So today, on day one, we focus on AML courses, we have crypto session, and in the afternoon, we're going to have a digital way course to talk about how to transform companies to become more digital using compliance. So we picked that order for a reason, and we also picked that order because we know that compliance is important. And one of the takeaways, I was in the session this morning, it was do it right from the beginning. Because if you don't do it right from the beginning, when you get to the end, you have a lot of catching up, and there is other fines that you can get on the process. So for us, yes, the technology is important. Yes, the business development is important, but the compliance community is always in our heart, and we always have a space for them
it's very important
to be here. As you can see, if you walk the floor, we have law firms, we have ID management companies. So we have different kind of compliance tools that anyone who is interested in navigating to the industry can look into.
And the reason for this is because when you talk about the instant payments, you need to have to security for the payment. We change, for example, the revolution of PIX in Brazil. We have immediately transferred in Brazil called TED.
Yes.
Transfer electronic data. But when I came, and normally you receive the money until a half hour. You receive the money. Today with the PIX, you receive the payment in 10 seconds. It's very fast. And you need to have a more strong compliance support for this.
Especially for payment frauds. I remember Two months ago, we hosted a virtual roundtable talking about how to mitigate payment fraud, especially with the instant payment, the bill pay. And I think our focus was in crypto companies and also in startup companies, because I think a company like Travelex, you have the infrastructure to be able to build more, right? But if you're talking about all these new fintechs, these new startups, and crypto companies that are starting to develop, the process is a little bit different. And in order for you to accumulate the volume to build the tools that you need, you have to do some risk assessment, mitigation of risk to make sure that you get there. So I think my message here is to everyone who is watching us, it doesn't matter what stage of the maturity of compliance you are. If you come here, we're able to adapt your risk assessment, your compliance tools to the maturity of your business. And I think that's something very important, because I hear from some of our clients, oh, I'm just a startup, I don't need a risk assessment. No. Any stage need a risk assessment, but we just have to mitigate what are the informations you have and what are the informations that you can start preparing for. So
it's very normal, because on the first moment you cause the disruption. And that the disruption, normally you don't have the rules for this, right? But on the second moment, the rules came to the process, and normally you have a new way and an accommodation of the process, and you walk this way with rules and security, and you go on.
Sounds good. I think we're closing, João. I just want your final words. So what's next? What should we expect from you and Travelex, so we can close the talk? And it's always a pleasure having you here sitting with me and really sharing your experiences with our audience.
My message is the market was changing. Meetings, then CrossTech is very important to us to know what is the industry of the cross-border payments was doing, and very important to see the friends too, right? But we believe we are in the market to change very fast, and we need to stay together to maintain a process very strong and a very clean for the non-contamination, and walking to the future is very important to us.
At CrossTech, together we're better. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.